Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good. It is the autumn equinox today. So it's the day that we have equal amounts of sunlight and nighttime. So it's all about balance. I'm glad you're all here. We're going to start off with a meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. Feel free to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for as long as you want or can. Whenever you're ready, exhale through your mouth. Allow your body to relax. Allow your mind to let go. Picture yourself breathing in love and breathing out love. Picture yourself in a fall meadow where all the leaves are turning colors of orange and rust and reds. The field is a beautiful golden hue. Starts to set as the sky turns hues of orange, purple, and reds. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Start to list things in your mind, the things that you're grateful for, big or small. And as you stand there in the dusk, if there's anything that you know that isn't serving you, any thoughts or feelings or beliefs, ask for Spirit to take those away, root and branch. In balance. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Whenever you're ready, you can return to your body, to the church. Welcome back. So the spring equinox, at this time, it's all about balance and harmony. With the perfect half and half of light and dark. It's about transition and letting go. It's about harvesting our gratitude. So this is a really good time to start that gratitude journal. What it is it's like you reap what you sow. And when we start in that gratitude, it just brings more love and kindness to us and allows us to push more love and kindness out. So it's also a good time to do shadow work. Who knows what shadow work is? All right, good. Shadow work is exploring those emotions, memories, triggers that take us back to a darker place in our past. And shadow work is really great to do in the fall because the energies just line up really well with doing that. So it's all about balance, and we're doing the gratitude and the shadow work kind of gives you an alignment to the nature. It's a great time it amplifies what you're doing. So later today after church, I'm going to do a equinox circle right after church. So, and we'll be going into how to do shadow work. Not as much gratitude list. I think everyone knows how to do a gratitude list. But we're going to spend an hour on it. But we're just going to kind of align with nature and allow ourselves to connect. And I'll give you homework to do because, how many people journal? How many people journal as much as they want to? It's okay. We do what we can. So, but it's now time for all of us to sing. So everyone please stand and turn to page 3. We're going to sing You Are My Sunshine. But we're only going to sing half of it because there's only half the sunshine today. No.
You'll never dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
That was actually kind of a perfect song, both ballads. It's sweet and sad all at the same time. That's perfect for today. All right, it's time for our lecture. Please welcome Gina Considine.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Very thankful to be here today. Very honored to be here. Thank you. And I can already see some familiar faces here today, which makes me really happy, and some very new faces also. I felt so welcomed here with the sound tuning and the sound bowls and my healing today. Beautiful energy. I feel just a lot of beams of light there. All of you seem to have this little beam of light going today. So today I wanted to talk about love, compassion, healing, and building a fortress of love. But firstly, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself. And as some of you can already hear, I have a British accent. I've lived here in San Diego for 35 years, actually. I'm in the ministry program over at the First Fraternal Church, so a lot of you, I think, have seen me there and on my journey over there. But a little bit about how I really became interested in spiritualism. I was born in London and spent most of my childhood in Scotland. My mother's British, she's still living, she's 93, and my father's passed away, but I spent the majority of my school years, college years, over in Scotland. And when I was about 24, my mother introduced me to spiritualism. I was visiting her in between taking jobs abroad. I've worked with children for over 20 years, and I was very blessed to have a very wonderful degree with children, which also allowed me to travel, which was definitely a blessing in my life. Well, while I was working back and forth in different jobs, secretly always knowing I wanted to live overseas because the British weather is not the best. I was asked by my mother to go to a spiritual church in Cheltenham in the Cotswolds because she had told me how coming to a spiritual life had really helped her on her path, on her journey, and how healing it was, and how she was in training to be a healer, which she is a trained healer at a spiritual church. So I went to the church, not knowing what to expect, but very eager, because my mum meant the world to me, and I was very eager to hear the messages at the end of the service over there. At that service, I received a message from a young man with whom I'd been very close to, hadn't known very well, but had fell in love with at the age of 17 on a vacation to Spain with my mom, my younger sister. And we became sort of pen pals for a long time, and I had always thought I would link up with him and travel, and felt very connected with him. And sadly, he died from a drowning accident in the oceans of Spain, trying to save a 7-year-old little girl. And I often thought, when I received his brother's letter, what happens to people at such a young age? Do they go to heaven? I found out that night in that church in Cheltenham that he plainly spoke to me through the medium. The medium described him down to his packet of cigarettes. The connection was so direct that I realized at that moment I wanted to seek out and increase my awareness of the spiritual world. To this day, whenever I visit my mother, and I'm leaving in a couple of weeks, I see her more frequently now, that we go to that church, and we continue to go to that church together. I returned to work abroad after that time, and the years slid by. I met my husband out here, came out to work here, go to school here. I fell in love with my husband, and after my husband proposed, I accepted. Took him a while. We planned on how to make our marriage as close as possible, so I completed the training to become a Catholic many years ago. And I also became a Eucharistic minister about 10 years ago. My husband had a 2-year-old little boy when I first met him, and we've gone on to have 4 children together. So I was buried at home for a long time, running a home, raising 5 children, and a very wonderful but demanding husband. A dozen years later, I had brought my 4-month-old daughter with us to go out to dinner at a restaurant across the street from where I'm studying my ministry. And while we were in that restaurant, my baby, I had to definitely think about nursing a baby. And to be honest, at that point in my life, 43, with a 4th baby, my husband was going through a big recession in work. There's been several with my husband's line of business. And we were having a lot of problems with our teenage son. And I was also losing my husband's attention and not able to give him attention because I had so many children too. So we got pushed into an argument in that restaurant. And I was so exhausted, I left the restaurant with my 4-month-old daughter and got outside and started looking for a place to nurse. The first place I saw was a wall that used to be a fence right out in front of the first fraternal spiritual church when we were in Kensington. I began to nurse the baby. I asked prayer to calm my heart. I was clearly upset, but almost immediately I felt the warmth on my back as if I was backing up into a fireplace. I turned and I saw the church, but I couldn't tell it was a church behind me. I just felt a warmth, sympathy, and healing coming right from the building behind me. Around Thanksgiving that year, I felt again the losing to connect with the spiritual world. As I looked, I came across the church and realized it was where I'd nursed my child. I had found this church months later, and I could hardly believe it was the same place where I'd nursed my baby. That Sunday I arrived there and was stunned by the strong trust I felt in my heart that day as I sat 2 rows back, flustered, late, avoiding the Catholic Church that day, and I found myself crying gently in relief of finally finding home, a warm spot of forgiving love. I could feel God and the angels asking me to play a bigger role in my life and me in theirs. 9 months later, I began classes with Millie Landis, and to this day, I'm continuing my journey there. Became a member, became a healer, and I feel the calling to do much more now as a message bearer here on platform. It's been an amazing journey for me. The effort and the continuous effort I have made has really settled my heart. I've allowed myself to live more peacefully, more gratefully, with kindness, compassion to others, and it's enabled me to face my life with a little bit more confidence too. I'm really grateful because I experienced firsthand the gift of divine love. I'm confident because I feel already the internal presence of God and those who have gone before. And that's why I've been here for a long time, and that's why I'm trying to improve my skills as God's servant. Getting back to a little bit more about what I wanted to talk about today, I've learned that healing is a very big part of spiritualism, and healing is working with spirit. And I had a healing today with a young lady here in the second row, and she was giving me messages which was unexpected during my healing, but it is what we are doing also as healers. Sometimes we're told that we're not supposed to be picking up on that, but I truly believe that spiritualism and message bearing is also to do with healing. Healing is an answer to prayer. Whenever someone prays to God, he's healing them. Thousands have flocked to hear Jesus speak and be healed. He knows our hearts and our needs. Those of us who are in training, such as myself, are learning to convey God's love and compassion to each of us through healings, through glimpses of the beyond, and through bearing messages from his angels. As many of you know, I am Eucharistic minister once a month, and I'm also Catholic. Our children are baptized Catholic. But at every Mass over there, we profess our creed, which includes that we believe in all things visible and invisible, the resurrection of the dead, and the life of the world to come. So unexpectedly, our community, this church, is the fulfillment of that belief. Here we not only pray, but we also interact with life after death. We describe many things which are invisible, and we offer assurances and direction from the world to come. We express love and compassion through Jesus, and we're used as a vessel for God, as mediums, as spiritual mediums up here. It's just a beautiful journey. I love spiritualism. This church talks to me. The Bible tells us that when Jesus first met Mary Magdalene, although she was a wealthy woman, she was possessed by 7 demons: anxiety, depression, tension, chemical imbalances, chronic uncertainty, nervous restlessness, and insecurity. It seems so. Jesus called out and drove out all those 7 demons. It was life-changing for her. Ever afterwards, she was Jesus' closest disciple. Jesus taught her and all those who listen that the only way to get through life with joy and happiness is to build a mighty fortress of love and faith. He is the King of love. The most important word is love. In my own life, particularly during lockdown, with teenagers and a husband at home, and all these sort of explosions of cruel and hate around the world, I had felt that some of my demons had been attacked too, like Mary Magdalene. I think sometimes they take advantage of our isolation, attack us, attack our children, my mother, my husband, my friends. They confuse us. They darken our understanding of the world. They spread dissension and anger. They blind us to the effects of our own actions. I found that doctors can treat some of these symptoms, but basically can't cure any of these problems. I'm trying medical doctors, acupuncture, homeopathic doctors, exercise, yoga. Everything helps, but can't drive out the demons. Only the hand of God can pull them out. Only God's words of love can command them to leave. I have found that the angels, God's spirits, and his gifts, and a strong, loving family have enabled me to build my fortress of love. A wall between me and the demons and the works of a hateful world behind this wall. I can be quiet and hear the words of God. Come out of her, evil demon. Behind this wall I can feel the Spirit of God and the kingdom of God come upon me. In that kingdom, love and compassion rule. This is a wonderful spiritual church. We're a community of believers. We're trained to do God's work out of love, compassion and faith, kindness. And we step forward to heal each other and all of those who come in need. There are so many who need healing that we've established a regular program of healing. Like Jesus, we heal by saying words to those who come to us. All of these in need of healing are welcome. And I can tell you that love and compassion that we feel towards those who show up is real. I've experienced firsthand the deep satisfaction, the fulfillment of healing. I know I am doing God's work. I truly missed being able to heal in person during lockdown. Healing others heals me. When the lockdown is over, and when it was over, we were able to gather as a community again. For any of you who maybe are new here for the first time and haven't had an opportunity to sit on a healing stool, it really is an act of God's grace, a channel of God's grace and compassion and love. It's really deeply rewarding. I know I truly believe that as a healer, one can at least beat the demons down, if not, drive them out. I truly believe that we can alleviate the burdens of any believer. We can lighten the terrible weight of anger and fear, dispel the dark clouds of depression, and turn fear into courage. When I felt very low and very, very out of balance, very overwhelmed, healing has brought me tremendous relief. I have felt the demons leave and God's love and compassion enter into my heart. I actually had an issue with a thyroid growth for months. I was told it was 50-50 to cancer and to get it out. I decided it was 50-50. I'm going to take that risk and I'm going to keep it and work on myself. I remember coming here for a spiritual healing in the back room years ago. I then continued to do healing and received healing at my own parish. My growth's gone, shrank. Doctors think it's some sort of miracle. Doctors thought it was a risk that I decided to carry on with it. But I'm truly, truly a believer in spiritual healing after going through something like that myself. The problems don't have to be big or small. The problems can be physical, emotional, or spiritual. We're here to do our part as reverends or even reverends in training, to bring love, compassion, relief, and increased faith, not as much as examples, but rather as acts of giving love, mercy, and relief. I encourage each and every one of you to turn with problems big or small. Let us help you. Many times things happen that we simply just don't understand, but that's okay. God doesn't expect us to have everything figured out. We can trust that He knows and will take care of everything. He wants us to look at Him and say, God, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm trusting You can take care of me. That trust is all important because the truth is, when we're facing difficult situations that we don't understand, when we feel overcome by demons, one of the best things we can do, maybe the only thing we can do, is trust in God and pray for his mercy. It allows him to take the wrong things that have happened and work them out for our benefit. We can trust that he is with us through every challenge we face, and we're ultimately going to have to come out stronger in the end. This church is built on the love and foundations of faith. After healing Mary Magdalene, Jesus went on so much more healing he did for others. Great crowds came to him, bringing with them the lame, the blind, the mute, and many others. They put them at his feet, and he cured them. Remember the healing of 2 blind men. Jesus asked the blind, "Do you believe I'm able to do this?" And they replied, "Yes." And he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And suddenly their vision was fully restored. My point today is that you believe that Jesus has the power. He already told you he will use it to help you, that he will comfort you in your afflictions so that he'll be able to comfort those who are themselves afflicted with the comfort which we ourselves have already received from God. He will drive out all our demons. Every battle can be won, no matter how fierce our struggles may be, no matter how long our battles may be. No matter how overwhelmed we may feel, even in the midst of it all, we can turn to God for help. He is our mighty fortress of love. If our faith is strong, then in our desperation, in the midst of a struggle, we will hear God's distant, strong song of triumph. We shall grow stronger, we shall find relief, and we shall win. The demons will be driven out. This is God's promise. This is the experience of millions of people over the last 2,000 years. He is a mighty fortress in which we can hide and find safety. He can protect us from the demons that get a hold of us. He can strengthen us to win our battle, overcome any difficulty, and approach our lives with renewed strength and confidence. We can return to a life of kindness, love, and compassion, warmed by the sun of God's love, lifted up by his angels, and strengthened by the bonds between us. Suffering is real, but I've learned that our response to suffering through prayer, of putting our trust in God, is also real. God would always come through for us in the end. Whatever is going on in your life, however low or far from God's grace you feel, prayer is always available to you. So when life goes badly, or when it's going well, you should lift up your hearts in sincere and grateful prayer to God. He is Almighty. He is the one you can rely on to be there for you always, no matter how awkward a situation is. And one of the biggest things we can do is act on compassion. And I was always taught by my mentor, Lily Landis, is actions speak louder than words. And I just want to end today with lesson 4 from her book, To Touch an Angel. Lesson 4. You are your thoughts, words, and actions. Carefully weigh your thoughts, words, and actions. Angels will help you evaluate, but we will not judge you. You alone are your own judge. What you are, both here on earth and later in heaven, is the sum total of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Remember that faith and fortune do not make a spiritual person, neither do poverty and obscurity. The true measure of a person's wealth is love. Love yourself, love others, let others love you. And in that loving environment, your thoughts, words, and actions will elevate you to a higher level, and your life will be enriched. Remember this lesson. Return to it often. The message may be brief, but is most important. Recognize the simplicity of the wisdom and the wisdom in its simplicity. Remember, the true measure of a person's wealth is love. And true happiness and the awareness of love in action. And I just want to end today with a little prayer. And I also want to mention I did bring a basket of little portable miniature candles, just as you leave the church today on the right. And one of the biggest things I do to set my day is probably say a very quick, 10-minute prayer. I should be meditating more. And I light a candle on my mantle where I have multiple pictures of people in the spirit world, but also of my family, my mom, people that are living. I've been told in this ministry and in my training to call upon my loved ones in my journey always for support. I'm a big believer of it. So I've left some little candles there. It's a great way to set the intention for the day. And feel free to take one on your way out if you feel in your heart that you would like to. And I just want to leave with a little prayer today. God, in your infinite wisdom and boundless love, you've called us to love and serve one another as you have loved us. I come before you today, my heart open and ready to receive your guidance and strength and to fulfill this command. Teach me to love, not just in words, but in action and in truth. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gina. Also, I just want to say that if there's anyone out there that is suffered from religious trauma in your past, that the Jesus and the God that we talk about is not judgmental, is loving, is non-condemning, and it's really about building your own relationship with whomever you choose. I think modern spirituality is really about learning from everywhere you can through different religions and modalities and stuff and taking what works for you. And it's really about creating your own spiritual path. So, but if you were sitting there and you're going, it's okay. It's safe here. But that was really great. I love Jesus. We're buddies. I just look at Jesus as an incredible teacher and healer, and that's what I connect to. Not Christianity and Jesus are two separate things on the head. It's like the pendulum goes all, and Jesus is over here, and sometimes Christianity can be over here. So. But the key, like she said, is love. Yes. Thank you so much. So, just want to make a couple of announcements. Like I said, today after church, we're going to do an autumn circle. That'll be like half hour after church. 20, I don't know. Depends on how long people stick around and talk with each other. But probably about a half hour after church. And that'll cost a suggested donation of $20. But if you really want to do it and you don't have that money, then pay what you can. Also, Mondays here over at Johnson Hall. Do you want to talk about your circle?
Just really quick, everybody's invited to come. We're doing spiritual development circle over there. And we're actually teaching lesson 4 out of that book this week. Talk about synchronicity. So everybody's invited to come. We do is we actually same class that Gina and I took to open up ours. Spiritual gift giving is the same class that we're doing over here. And it's not really the point of spiritualism. It's really, being psychic, it's about helping people. It works together as a group. It's very bonding. It's loving. And it is super fun. It's tomorrow night at 6:30 right in the building right next door. Please come, everybody. We've, so far, our first 2 classes have had about 13 people. We could easily do double that. And the energy that everybody brings in helps. Look at it. She's having fun. Chrissy, tell them it's fun. Yeah, thank you, guys. Please come. Fantastic.
Also on October 4th, which is a Friday at 7 p.m., I think it's in 2 weeks, we're going to be building our De los Muertos altar. And so feel free to join us. We'll and bring pictures of your loved ones or even your past pets as well. Anything that you want to bring. And then offerings, we're going to build an altar that'll be up all the way until actual De los Muertos. And if you can't make it on that day, once the altar is set, and feel free to bring, in something and add it to the altar anytime during the month too. So there's no cost to that at all. We have our psychic fair coming up in mid-October. And then actually on De los Muertos, we're doing a fundraiser for the church. We're doing dinner and a movie. And so we're going to set up tables and have it all decorated. And we're going to watch Coco, the movie, which if you haven't seen is a great animated film about De los Muertos. And if you have seen it, it's still a great film. But we're gonna have a 5-course Mexican meal with it as well. So it'll be fun. It'll be a great time. And just for dinner, we have a regular ticket, which is $40, which includes the dinner. And then there's a VIP ticket, which includes a present and some extra things, just, because it's a fundraiser. So, and that one's $75. You can buy those tickets online right now. We'll also, I think next week, start having tickets here that you can buy as well. So, but it's going to be fun. I love De los Muertos. I never was a Halloween person. Like, putting me in a costume is like dragging me across glass. Like, for probably 10 years, I dressed as a Mormon for my Halloween costume because it was the easiest costume to do. And I actually had a printed name tag with Elder Shine on it. What can I say? But the reason I did it was because it was just the easiest, literally like a shirt and tie and pants. I was like, that was the effort I was willing to put in. But De los Muertos, I love it. So I'm excited that we're going to do that for De los Muertos. And then November 24th, I'll be doing an apothecary workshop, which will be you'll go home. I'll teach you how guys and give you recipes for things that you can make, especially like gifts. And you'll go home with at least one item that you made. And if you want to make more than that, you can do that as well in there. But you'll go home with recipes too, so that you can create your own and do Christmas gifts and stuff like that if you want. So that'll be on the 24th. Is that it? Oh, also, if you want to support the church, you can become an angel member, which is a member. Those are they donate a monthly donation. So you can go onto our website on membership, and there's a part where you can spend as little as $10 a month to support the church, and it just automatically takes it out of your account, so you don't have to think about it. All the way up to $250 if you want a month. So, but it really helps just support the church. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think it's time for our love offerings and donations. If it's monetary, you can hold it between your hands. If you need to do it electronically through PayPal or Venmo. The instructions are in your program. And if you're just sending the church good energy, love, and just hold that in your mind's eye as we repeat the affirmation printed in your program 3 times together. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Divine love in me blesses this offering and increases my consciousness of peace and prosperity in all my affairs. Our ushers, Cam and Patrick, will be coming around. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, the information for you to donate is on the screen. People at home to see Ben on his accordion. Mother, Father, God, thank you for these blessed gifts, and please return to each person 1,000-fold what they've given here today, and allow our church to grow and prosper. Amen.
Amen.
Ben, are you going to be our special music today?
Yes.
He's got all new tools over there.
That's a lot. Actually, no, that's it. Thing that don't tell them very like. Couple on this one if you want. Troubles come and I can't find an answer. Lonely nights I spend dreaming of you. So here I am, again I'm on the it's me again, and I'm it's me again, I'm gonna make some more. I don't need
provide to everyone online.